possible to ensure that all the different partners are on board for the day. My name is Nderitu Wangai. I'm part of the MAN-PPO team and Mama Mata's partner. We welcome you today, this morning. I hope everyone has had the breakfast. And as they say, it's an ongoing process. So, karibu, chakula kimezidi pale nje. We'd like as much of it taken up as possible. Quickly, we'd like to start with a word of prayer. As with everything, we try to dedicate it to God so that we can start on the right tone. We have a gentleman by the name Isaac Kamau. You have been kindly requested to start us off with a word of prayer.
Good morning. Let's pray. Lord, we give thanks to you for bringing us to this place and causing this day to come to fruition. We pray, thanking you, even for every matter that will be discussed in this place. We ask you, Lord, that you'll cause this meeting to have fruit and everybody to come on board and benefit, oh God. We give thanks for everyone who has come and those that may be on the way. And we pray that you may cause us to have a beautiful time in this place. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Okay. Keep moving. Is this mic okay? Okay. So keep it moving. We'd like to introduce our partner, Mama Mata, the chair lady, Madam Penina, followed by our chairman for MAN-PPO, and the reason why we're also here, to give the remarks, introduce the whole reason why we are here, have a couple of so speak, and then we can have a Q&A in case of any queries or any comments. As I say, comments, suggestions. Mama Mata, we welcome you.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Penina Njoroge, or Mama Mata, owner Mama Mata store in Houston, Texas. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for responding to our invitation. It is my prayer that in the days to come, you will find the short interaction with us useful. Mama Mata was founded with the aim of bringing home closer to Kenyans in the Houston and surrounding areas. However, our online store has now shipped products to all parts of the US, including Alaska and Hawaii. We have also shipped to Canada, UK, and Germany. We began having challenges with imports, and it took a while to realize that a lot of information was seeping through the cracks, that it was not enough to hire a customs broker and leave everything to them. It was our responsibility as importers to keep ourselves and partners up to date. The initiative to share the FSVP with you is based on a desire to ensure that no money is ever lost because of lack of information that might be available but not accessible. We want to hear your views on any challenges you might have had and any solutions that you might want to share. Most of the mitigations involve education and training. We are partnering with Mwepesi Ajenda Nne by using their platform in building capacity in the industry. We are grateful for the support we have received so far from FDA and KEBS. We pray that this support continue and increase. The winners will be the Kenyan and American people. Thank you.
Mama Mata. Okay, she's done. Thank you. Brief and straight to the point. The longer presentation is with our chairman, Mabli. He'll take us through what here, as I said, and what led to the birth of this child that we are looking to present to you. Mabli, I think you can take it away.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we are exceedingly honored by your presence here today. By the grace of God, I hope to repay that honor with tangible value at the appointed time. Mwepesi is the Kiswahili word for agile, while Ajenda Nne means 4 agendas. This then translates to agile implementation of the 4 agendas, which are food security, manufacturing, affordable housing, and universal healthcare. The Project Management Institute, PMI, describes agile as a way of work or a mindset. It further defines it as an iterative approach to work that helps teams deliver value faster and with fewer headaches. Instead of betting everything on a big launch, agile teams deliver work in small, consumable increments. Our intention as Mwepesi Ajenda Nne is to use agile methodologies to mobilize, integrate, and leverage the diaspora community's contribution towards Kenya's development. This will involve 4 phases. Number 1 is the launch of the business plan competition. That's in Nairobi, Kenya, which is today. The second step, which will go from April to August 2023, is the curating of business plans and onboarding of partners. These partners include banks, some of whom we have been speaking with, regulators who we have been speaking with, investors who have been speaking to us, and then we have the diaspora launch in August of 2023, where I hope to see most of you people join us here for the launch, having worked with us then for at least maybe 4 or 5 months. The 4th step is going to be the matching, integration, and execution, which is going to take from September to December 23. What do I mean by matching and integration? The results that we are going to get from the business plan is going to bring certain requirements, certain desires to the core, like equipment, like tractors, excavators, solar panels for drying equipment. And those are the things now we shall now work towards bringing to Kenya on the Kenyan side as a response to this. Our beginning with food security was entirely by accident. We had planned on starting with affordable housing and had indeed begun to put in place that portion. However, a problem emerged that was much closer home. And in the spirit of the real meaning of agile, we pivoted swiftly and started with food security. We had been encountering numerous challenges in importing merchandise for the Mama Mata retail outlet. We reached out to KEBS, who in turn took us to the USTRA. I had the good fortune of meeting Mr. Tobias Ololo through Mr. Samuel Jao, who introduced me to Dr. Rotich. And together we were able to go to the USTRA. We tabled the mitigations which we felt were challenges. And as soon as we did that, we started retooling the application to fit the food security challenge that we are facing today. At our own initiative and as patriotic entrepreneurs, we are pleased to offer this solution as the mitigator for most of the issues and as an example of effective private sector and multi-government engagement. Once again, thank you for honoring us with your presence. We hope that the solution we shall offer will be a solution that will make a difference to your businesses and to your aspirations in shipping, transportation, production, manufacturing, everything within the spectrum of the Big Four agenda. Thank you and welcome again.
So thank you, Mabli. I think yours was just twice as long. We were expecting you to speak for longer, but it's okay. We are trying to make this as engaging and as interactive as possible. So in case kuna swali mtu anakuuliza in between, please do. It's an easy, that's why it's a breakfast as opposed to an auditorium lunch. Like to introduce Mark, our colleague that is in part of the communications team, to briefly take us through what the MAN-PPO app is and what it does. After that, then we can take it to now any Q&A. After a couple of our partners, stakeholders, volunteer speakers that would like to give comments can have spoken. Mark Mwaka.
Morning, everyone. I'd like to give you a rundown of the MAN-PPO app and what it's about. So the app is a comprehensive project management tool where it brings together project owners, sponsors, agents, suppliers, and exporters in a whole, in a single ecosystem. So what we're looking at is that this app will help you track your projects from the initial stage where you're presenting your business proposal, and then it will help you link up with sponsors who they see your vision, basically if it's in a ward or a hometown near them. So if they would want to sponsor the project, they'll be able to sponsor the project via the app. And then another one of the features that it will have is that it will have a polling system whereby both brands and individuals can use it to gather feedback on some of the campaigns you want to run. So if it's a marketing campaign and you need some feedback on what the users around the locale think about it. And then we'll also have trainings on the app. So for foreign vendor supplier, trainings will be on the app as well. And then there'll be professional services whereby there'll be lawyers, there'll be auditors in case you need your business to be audited and to get service from the auditors. And then lastly, and not the least, is why we're here, there'll be an African Diaspora Market feature whereby you'll be able to have a proposal. Yeah, there'll be an African Diaspora Market feature whereby you will put in your proposal on what you intend to export, and the users on the diaspora and in the US will be able to now buy from you. So this, depending on the category where you, so be it fruits, be it groundnuts, just depending on the categories which your business is exporting in the US, users will be able to directly buy from the app from you. And then I'll just give a rundown on why the African Diaspora Market. So as I'd mentioned before, it will help you connect you with buyers in the diaspora and across the world. So this will give you an opportunity to increase exposure for what you're exporting. It will be a one-stop shop for all the Kenyan businesses who would like to sell their products to the US and diaspora market. And also, it will offer you a range of resources and help you navigate the complexities that are there within that international trade. So we will help you with the customs, the shipping logistics, and just get your brand and your business up and running to be able to export to the diaspora consumer. So that's a rundown of what the app is about. Feel free to ask any questions, but that's the idea and why we're actually here.
I'd also like to introduce our colleague from the legal department, Wangoko, to share any add-ons to the same for the MAN-PPO and what the system provides or what it can help achieve in the long run. Wangoko.
Good morning, everyone. I believe today we are gathered mostly from the business community, and I'm sure most of you have interacted with quite a number of you this morning, and you're in the import-export business, especially, I mean, when I say export, I mean exporting from Kenya to the US. So I'm aware that there are a number of challenges that you normally face, or exporters to the US normally face, and our app, that is Mwepesi Ajenda Nne, intends to mitigate some of those challenges. I think one of the requirements, one of the challenges that it faces is the food facility registration clarification delays. As you're aware, for one to export to the US, one must have a Food and Drug Administration number. So for one to have that, one must have a registered facility in the US, and there are a number of, actually not a number, there are it's quite a long list and quite a tedious process to get the registration. So what we intend on curing with the app is to assist anybody who wants to export to the US, be it on small scale or large scale, to go through the registration process. We know there are delays that are faced, and another requirement is the need for agents. So we are working with agents who are already in the business. Mama Mata, who is one of our partners, and they will help anybody who wants to export to the US to actually register as, they will ease in the exportation and go through the processes and the challenges that they are faced. Another challenge that the app intends to mitigate is the issue of testing. Anytime you're exporting products from Kenya to the US, they have to go through testing by one of our stakeholders, who is KEBS, and there's quite a representation here. And on the other end, in the US, they're also required to go through testing. So another mitigation that our app will assist in doing is that it will help in simplifying all those processes in such that the certification by KEBS here will be final. We are all aware that the US is very big on quality, And our app will actually be a solution to that. It will be geo-referenced such that if somebody is buying, say, mboga from, say, a farm in Nyeri, we have set up, I think once you interact with the app, you will be in a position to see that, such that you are able to see the specific location that the product is from. And you're able, even the labeling, you're able to just know from where the product was processed from. Another mitigation our app intends to mitigate is the issue of the notice. For one to export to the USA, they ought to give prior notice. I think if it's by air or road, it's about 4 days. If it is air, I think it's about 2 days. But now, using the app, apologies about that. I think the sound is back to normal. So using the app, we are able to help exporters and suppliers to avoid these delays because prior notice will not be required. So this is not only mitigate the risk of late filing, it will also reduce the pressure on the human resources. You know, one of the disadvantage of not giving prior notice is that once your goods arrive on the other end and one had not given notice, is that the goods will not be cleared. So these will also reduce the risk of goods getting destroyed, fresh produce getting spoiling, as well as the other risk of products being returned to the country of origin. So the other, or the last mitigation that the app will assist in doing is the requirement for the manufacturer's letter. So the application will have a checklist for the requirements for the relevant FDA regulations. The user can use the electronic template to produce the letter. So this is based on the Code of Federal Regulations. That is a regulation in the US, and as such that it will not be, one will not be required to use signatures. So how we intend on going about all this is training to empower people who, our stakeholders, our partners, who we will be presenting, who will be working with. So this will also reduce the days that it takes, noting also the time differences. So the application, in short, will populate the letter. One does not need to keep on filling the details. It will include the letterhead, and we'll have a room for the electronic signature. So I think you can read an example of what will be populated. I affirm that these pictures, that is the product that one is growing and I mean is exporting, and it will confirm that it actually aligns to the Federal Food, Drug and Cosmetic Act. So another advantage that our app will have is that we will have training videos on every step that of the export process. So we believe this is, many people would like to export to the US, but that information is not readily available, especially with the limitation that is not there within other jurisdictions, that especially one must have an agent on the other end. So our app will assist in training materials. And before you even use the app, there will be a video to explain exactly what, there'll be several topics. You choose a topic of your interest, mostly related to what you're dealing with. And then there will be a confirm that you understand. So we are adding value to the export to the later on to other jurisdictions. We are also adding value by adding the education and the information. I think that's it for that part. I'll hand over to Derito.
As I said, we are looking and listening to comments from the audience, so to speak. Recap of what this is about. From either end, Mabli? Yes. Is your audio on?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so as I was saying, there's a couple of comments stating that we've moved a bit fast in terms of what we are all about or why we're here. There are partners that are on board already and they are aware. I can see them smiling at me, but there are also others that are not aware of the same, and the pace at which we've moved, we might have lost some along the way. There's the slide that basically explains MAN-PPO and has the different elements in it. I don't know whether you can give us a quick, not a quick, actually a slower overview of the same within like 5 minutes, if that's okay with you.
Okay, Mr. Derito, you know we have some very honored guests in the audience, and I would not want to speak for the second time before they have spoken for the first time.
Oh,
so I'd like to ask you to ask Mr. Tobias Ololo to come make his comments, introduce Dr. Rotich, and then we have the audience participation, and then after that, now if there's specific questions, we can answer them. Because we really do need to hear from everybody. So if you can humbly and very respectfully ask Mr. Tobias Angila Ololo to come and make his remarks, and then we move on from there. That's my suggestion also, as a chairman.
Okay, it's great. I guess I've been overruled. So. Like I said, we have a couple of stakeholders and partners that we are very, very glad to have on board. We'll also, in a perfect world, would actually acknowledge each and every one of you, but there are some that are not so okay with being in the limelight. So allow me to invite Mr. Olo. Is it Olo?
Ololo.
Yes. So Mr. Ololo from KEBS to introduce his team from KEBS. I can actually see a couple of them. And then I'll also call on Dr. Joe to say something small. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe I just want to confirm, my name is Tobias Ololo. Ololo is the only name with 2 letters, and it's the only name you can read from both sides. Ololo, Ololo. So first, before I say anything, probably I would like to introduce the KEBS team, starting with my director, Dr. Rotich. He will be the one who will deliver the MD speech. Dr. Rotich is there. And then I have my chief manager, standards, Engineer, stand up so that they can see you. Engineer Lukorito is the Chief Manager, Standards Development. I have my colleague, Ms. Ikonya Lucy. Ms. Ikonya Lucy is our National TBT Secretary, the TBT Secretary that is a mirror to the WTO TBT Committee. We have Samuel Njau. Samuel Njau is the colleague who got us together with Mabli through an email. Dr. Rotich will explain that. I don't know whether I've left someone from KEBS. And then also we have one of our team members from KENAS, Ms. Felista Nyakoe. KENAS is our National Accreditation Service, very key in issues that they were mentioning, issues of testing. For you to remove that, KENAS has to come in. We do what we call mutual recognition arrangements. So I don't want to say much. I would invite my director, Dr. Rotich, kindly come and deliver the speech.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Jamboni. I hope I don't have to leave here without knowing who was here. I've been looking forward to an introduction. I think one of the things we have here is networking, isn't it? Yeah, beside the breakfast, we should go home with some contacts. They say never eat alone, isn't it? So when you live here, you go with a contact. So I hope the organizers will have an opportunity to do that. Mama Mata, I'm happy to see you today. Because I've heard about you a lot, but today I've been able to see you. I hope the next time we will see you in person here. And I believe that's what most of us here want to do, to shake your hand. Baba Mata, is that how it goes? I hope it goes like that, isn't it? Yes, because if there's Mama Mata, then there should be. Isn't that true? So I hope, I know it's Maple, okay? Good. Members, today we are happy to be here. Our journey started in December. You remember there was a business forum which was held in the US and Kenya attended. And we were lucky to be part of that team with Tobias. And we met Maple. I don't know, he has not agreed. I call him Baba Mata, I would have said that. And on the sidelines, we had discussions, and we realized he really has a passion to promote export of our products to the US. So you know we produce quality products, isn't it? Ama, you don't? So what we want is we want the world to enjoy these quality products. So I think one of the things that he's doing is to link the market with the producers. And I think that's something that we need to work on. So we had discussion, and there were some challenges. Some of them were processes, and some were issues of standards. And we told him, yes, fine. We agreed to visit the trade representative office. We had discussions. And that discussion has really gone on. And I'm sure you're aware today, this week, there's a meeting ongoing between the Kenya and the US Trade Mission. So this is to build a bridge and build the expressway so that your products can reach the market and people in the world can enjoy the quality products that we are producing. So as Kenya Bureau of Standards, our business, I would say, is your business. Whatever you are doing is our business. We are here to facilitate you. We are here to make sure that your products and services can be enjoyed all over the world. So we do this by developing standards. We also do this by participating in comparisons of our measurements. I remember one time I was in one of the meetings in Codex. We were discussing issues of pesticide residues. And one delegate, we were having breakfast, and we were discussing about pesticide residues, and said, in their measurements, they have uncertainty of 50%. Can you imagine 50%? I think I almost lost my hair because I was in my head and I was like, how can you do 50%? Uncertainty. Uncertainty means it can be more or less by 50%, isn't it? So me, I was a bit concerned, but after having a discussion, they have done rigorous systems which ensures what is exported into their countries more or less meets the requirement, isn't it? And therefore, a 50% is 0.000 or something. So it doesn't matter whether it's plus or minus. It's negligible, isn't it? So what has made that possible is the systems in place. So I believe that this is what the endeavor we want to have. We want to have systems where we don't have to worry about what we're exporting, because the system that we have here produces what meets the market. And the MAPRO app here will be having all those things that you need. Say that if you, like you are applying for ID, you know you need to attach your birth certificate, you need to attach this. So you go through the process, and when you are clicking submit, you're done, isn't it? You don't have to think that you've lost something. So I think that's a very important thing. So as I mentioned, please get in touch with KEPS. Start your business from KEPS. You say what? Getting it right first, isn't it? Because we talk about the cost of reworks is quite high, isn't it? If you are producing, you need to get the right input. Because the right input assures you of the correct output, isn't it? So work with KEPS, work with KENAS and other agencies which are here. Because as I mentioned, your business is our business, isn't it? We feel happy when you're smiling. When you're smiling to the bank, we'll be smiling to our institution to give you a pat on the back. Say what? Congratulations, isn't it? You will be smiling to the bank, and we'll be smiling to your place to congratulate you, okay? Yeah, so I believe that today we can be able to interact and promote export of our products. My personal view is that every container that comes to Kenya should be going away with Kenyan products. Is that what we believe? Yes. So we can do it, isn't it? And remember, when you believe it, you can make it happen. Do you believe it? We want to see those containers going back with products which are produced by our Kenyan people, our farmers, our manufacturers, our innovators, and all this. Now, when I met Mapley, one of the things that really interested me was his mission and vision. He has a mission of one product per county exported to the US. Isn't that great? Yes. So he's thinking about what? An inclusive Kenya. That every community in this country will be able to get $1. And therefore, I know our ministry also have the same agenda of one manufacturing per county to start with, isn't it? You've seen the government is really working on the export promotion zones. And this is to facilitate so that you can be able to tap into the international market. Remember, we also have the AFCFTA. And so there are a lot of opportunities. So work with KEPS, work with other regulatory authorities and get it right first. We talk about mutual recognition arrangements. As KEPS, we are a member of the International Bureau of Weights and Measures. Kenya is a signatory to the Meter Convention, which was signed in 1875 by 17 countries then. And the purpose was to promote mutual recognition of measurements so that once tested, acceptable everywhere, isn't it? Yes. I'm sure when you travel around, you see these days, you just need to walk towards a camera and the camera knows you. You don't need to present your passport. You can just pass your passport and it gets scanned, isn't it? Yeah, I went to one country recently and I was wondering why they didn't stamp my passport. But they've done what? Electronic stamping, isn't it? They don't require the physical stamp. So what you are saying is, when you have mutual recognition arrangement, it means I recognize the system that you put in place as being equivalent to what I have here. Therefore, when I see you, I just say what? Karibu. Even the doors opens by themselves, isn't it? So that's what we want to do. So with those few remarks, I want to assure that KEBS, we have removed all the doors. We are doorless. You can just walk in. Okay? If you see me on the street, stop me, and if you have an issue, you can talk to me, isn't it? Yes. If you see me walking on the road, you can walk with me as we solve your problem. And maybe you have the solution. So we say knowledge is not limited, isn't it? So we are not saying that we are the monopoly, but we are saying you have also something you can tell us. Yeah? So if you have an idea, come to us. Remember, we have opened up the technical committees so that you can participate actively, even online. Don't ignore. Check on our website and give us feedback. Thank you very much. And I wish Mama Mata and MAN-PPO, of course he has not really endorsed, a very successful interaction. I hope when you leave here, we have very, very important sessions and linkages and contacts that we can build on. Whatever, I'm sure most of you have read about Napoleon Hill. He says what about the mind? Whatever the mind conceives, who knows it? So Lucy, you know. What does it say? Some volunteer, maybe somebody knows. Napoleon Hill.
It can achieve.
Yeah, I think you can tell us what it says about the mind.
Whatever the mind of man can conceive, it can achieve. It's based on the chapter, thoughts are things. That everything you see around you began as a thought, and with organized planning and persistence and several other things, it came to fruition.
Thank you very much. So we have conceived this idea of exporting our products and services to the US. And
the laptop has gone off.
A round of applause again to Dr. Rotich. That was a well thought kind of speech. Maybe just to add a bit of, especially on our role as KEBS, which was requested by Mama Mata through a letter, is to take up the coordination. Because we have so many agencies that are involved in product certification, export requirements. So our role in this process would be to assist first. We have already started identifying some of the requirements, which, as indicated by the presenters, will be fed into the plan. And as also mentioned, will also be very instrumental in assisting in production of some of those videos, especially in some of those areas of, I hope you list some of those areas, though I will mention them, these tutorial videos that would be useful to the regulators. Some of our regulators also require them, and private sector. And it is also our sincere as he just last said, that this will be, and for the first time, we'll access, our products will access the US market in volumes. And you know, since ago, I think if you look at the statistics, our exports to the US is not so big. Yet we have preferential treatments to our exports, duty-free, but we are not exporting. Why? Because of these issues that Mama Mata is coming to sort out. So since we met with the Mabli, I'm hearing now he has a new name, Baba Mata. We have engaged our stakeholders, in fact, up to last week, expanding on some of the sectors that they are targeting. So we've identified specific, going by the tariff lines, the products of potential. Quite a number of the products in that list we are not exporting, but they are of potential exports, like meat and meat products, talk about poultry, we talk about vegetables. So we have listed quite a number of them. We are exporting coffee and roasted coffee, of course tea. So we have listed products under fruits and dried fruits. These are the areas where most of our traders are interested to export in the US. In many cases, they are not, like in poultry. Honey is one of the potential area of export to the US. We have milk and milk products, and even cereals. You cannot believe it that Jogo sells like hotcake in the US, but taking Jogo there, I mean Jogo, the unga, not the party. It's very tedious to take Jogo, the unga, to the US, and the market is so big. I remember last time when I was there, there's a guy who was saying he cannot certify that market. The demand is just too much. But exporting these products to the US is a big challenge. Then, of course, we have the essential oils. We have the flowers in general, including the cut flowers. And we're already working, I think, also engaging with our US counterparts, because apart from getting the requirements from Kenya, you can't export to the US if you have not met the requirements from Kenya. Then we will also be providing those requirements from the US, the specific regulators, the FDA, and the like. So already they have the list, so we are working on it. I think that's what I wanted to say. I don't want to say much. After my director has spoken, I just wanted to highlight on what we are already doing with the US and our other regulators, and we want the private sector to come on board. The problem with the private sector, they are not proactive. In fact, it is us pushing them, they are not pushing us. So we need to be very much proactive. You need to push the government. We are ready to work with you. And as you can see, this thing is going to work. I believe it will be the first move to access the US market. I think with that, I would say thank you. I'm so much excited to be part of this baby that is going to be born. I'm not good in speaking, but I am surprised I've spoken a lot. I'm good with ideas, so if you want ideas in anything, please ask me. I will provide you with ideas. Thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you, Bwana Ololo. Very quickly, pertinent to what we are doing today, I'd just like to share the action plan. As with any idea, how you execute it or what your plans are to put it in place, what determine how well it will do, and whether it's just a dream or an actual vision. Now, our action plan is based on a farm to market or farm to kitchen table idea. So basically, our app enhances traceability by monitoring the different steps involved in the exportation. As our very good friend has guided us on, there's stakeholders that determine whether your product is up to par. There's stakeholders that determine whether your product is actually scalable to a point where you can export it. And there's rules and regulations that actually feed into this, both from Kenya and from any other country, in this case, the US. So, in simply put, our program enhances traceability as it monitors the product through the supply chain process. So right from the, let's call them the farmer, all the way to the user on the other side, or the consumer on the other side. This is through the different bodies, CABs, customs, KRA, KEFIs, any different body that actually is involved in this. So our idea to bring this to fruit or take this to market is to have a business plan competition. As I said, our app is based on an idea to empower the local mwananchi, the local farmer, the local producer, the local, I will not use broker, but the local person at the very lowest point. If it is at the coast all the way to Lunga, Tanga at the border, if it's Busia on this other side, if it's Marsabit, can they have the same opportunities that are there for the others? Can they have the same opportunities with regards to their product, so that it's not everyone that takes the product to Wakulima and ends their journey there. They could be the same ones that actually produce the best products to export to the different countries out there. So we have a business plan competition that we are planning to launch across over 46,000 locations in the country. As our colleague here, Wangoko, had emphasized, our app has appreciated each and every locale you could think of in Kenya. So look at the Kenyan map, break it into 46,000 plus different locations, and that is where we are going, to each and every point, so that the same person that is in Busia has the same opportunity that the one in Nairobi has. Secondly, we will then empower them by providing training. One of the trainings that was very key, and which is what was hinted on or mentioned by Mabli, is the foreign supplier verification program. This is part and parcel of what our MAN-PPO app will offer, allowing you to now be at par with what the FDA, the US Customs, and every other body that is a regulatory authority from the US side that determines what comes in, what does not come in. We've had challenges, as I believe has been mentioned, based on a simple thing. Oh, I didn't know there's some paperwork that was involved here. I didn't know that this was needed. I didn't know I needed to verify this. So our training programs will actually empower people to be able to do this even on their own, within the same system, within the same app, without having to struggle too much with regards to logistics or such consequences that are usually there. So, as mentioned, we will try and focus on a pilot project that will appreciate the 7 different categories that are already very prevalent and highly marketed to the US. This will be the dried vegetables, the dried fruits, fresh fruits, then the juices for the vegetables and fruits, grain flour, as Wanololo has said, unga jogo or any flour, essential oils, lavender, thyme, rosemary, and last but not least, meat. As we keep saying, I think one of the biggest complaints about simple things as sausages in the US, for those ones that have been there, some of us still hope to do, is that the sausages don't taste the same. And that is part of what is there. I think my colleague here was in the US about 2 years ago, and those are the kind of things they were told to bring along. Bring me a pack of Farmer's Choice, or bring me a pack of Royco and such. So with this, with our MAN-PPO app, we are able to accommodate this, empower people, whether it's an organization, meaning a small SME that produces juices. I know we have a couple of partners, so hopefully we'll have one speak. Or it is an individual in Kitui that wants to export mangoes and has a large farm. So it appreciates all of them within the same, and we're not restricting it to these categories. It will still grow further than this. These are just the pilot ones, the easy market, the ready market that is already good to go. Our partners, I think I won't even need to go too much into it. we have KEBS, we have KEFIS, we have a lot of different regulatory authorities from our end. And then on our chairman's end, we have the different authorities from the US end. Like we said, our idea is ensuring that it's an end-to-end process. So we don't qualify you from this end and leave you hanging. We ensure that even on that end, it's a seamless engagement. So as I said, this is where basically MAN-PPO comes in. This is what do they call it? This is a more intimate launch with our partners, with our stakeholders, to basically bring you into the picture, get your opinions, because you are the people, most of you are the ones on the ground. You actually are the best ones to advise us and tell us, yeah, you should be able to cater for this, or have you looked at this angle? So it's a reason why we are here. But we will also have a grand launch in August, hopefully in Houston, Texas. Baba and Mama Mata will be our hosts. I hope they're ready with everything. I know some of us do not eat mrenda unless near Kenya, wakisafiri. So I think those are some of the products that we'll have there. So it will be in collaboration with several diaspora organizations. As I said, on that end, we have a whole network that is willing to support the endeavors of the Kenyan, the local mwananchi, and that is what the big picture is about, empowering each and every individual to greater heights in everything we do. With that, I'd like to invite a couple of our partners, a couple of our guests. Let me start with Daktari. Tafadhali, you can come, introduce yourself, maybe say one or two words, and then I'll introduce someone else, and then we can take it to Q&A.
Thank you. Good morning. When I came in, I saw MAN-PPO, and I was asking myself, where is woman PPO? Yeah. Yeah, so my name's Dr. Joe Sagini. A few weeks ago, as the Dr. Rotich just said, I was networking. And I came across a very powerful lady. She's called Elizabeth. And as we were talking, we were discussing things to do with exporting Kenyan products outside to the diaspora. And in the process, I discussed the same thing with the same issue with the women from Mlembe Nation. And we started engaging in discussions. And last week, fortunately, Elizabeth called us and told us, hey, there's an opportunity for us to be able to export our produce and even other products that we are producing in Kenya to the US. And so I called the ladies and told them, hey, here is an opportunity. And coming here, it's just mind blowing, to see what the app is able to do, end to end. I mean, it's just mind-blowing because 2 years ago, my dad was trying to export Ganodama mushroom from here to the US to another pharmaceutical company. And it's not been easy. It's not been easy at all because, yes, the KEBS was able to do the tests and they were certified, but now going there, it was another issue. So this really comes in handy, and thank you so much for the thought and just the idea. And I would want to invite one of the directors of Mlembe Nation to say a word. Is it okay? Yeah, thank you so much for listening to me. Mr. Sorry, let me say Pamigara. Yes. Welcome.
Members, my name's Pami Gara, and I'm glad to be here with you. We are, like he has said, Daktari, we are a group of women. We can call us a consortium of women from Western region who are growing organic products. We have honey, we have dried boga, we have what? Peanuts, yeah, and some of them cereals. Now, we're very happy to meet you, Mama Mata and Baba Mata. Why? Because we wanted this idea, not only for people here in Kenya to eat our products, but to export to the US. And we're very happy that we met Liz Okunda, who has connected us with you, so that people in the US will not disturb us all the time. Nitumie mrenda, and then you have to rush, you peleka airport. We are not doing it the right way. Cabs are here. We're also asking cabs, tukikuja kwenyu, tunataka barua, mtufanyie haraka haraka. Tusikuwe na story mingi. Tunataka tukona Dr. Rotich, unatufanyia mara moja, vitu zetu ziende. Thank you so much for this this app also. Now, before I sit, can I introduce the Mlembe women, the Mlembe Organics ladies who are here? Just stand up and just wave, wherever you are. We have Julia there. We have Viticia here. Dr. Lorna there. My co-chair, Kenti Stikolo, is there. We have also partnered with Arwandiz. She's there. She's Frida Kamikaze. She grows chia seeds in Rwanda and also looking for export. So we are a team of well-able women, and we are happy to partner with you. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much. It's always a blessing to see a group of like-minded individuals. And for some of us who mothers are very industrious, it's actually a very big thing to see an organization that actually appreciates women, puts them together, and achieves a goal that betters everyone in the bigger picture. I'd like then to invite, Madam Mutua. She has stepped out hopefully she'll be back. Then I can introduce her. Like I said, we have stakeholders and we have the targeted audience. And the reason being, we want opinions from each and every side. Now, we have a guest from Kiproba that would like to say hi. Nothing more. I hope that's okay. Sorry, I've ambushed her, because these are the partners that we are looking to help every individual engage with on a very easy scale. As Dr. Rotich said, ukimwona kwa barabara, msimamishe, usikie. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Hilda Ogada from Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency. In short, KEPROBA. So first of all, I'd like to introduce my colleagues, Samuel Rere and Ken Kamau. So for those who don't know KEPROBA, we are a state agency under the Ministry of Investment, Trade, MITI. Ministry of Industry, Investment and Trade. Yeah, so our main mandate is to promote exports and to brand the country. Yeah. So the US market is a very important market for us, and we exist to facilitate exporters to access the market. So we also train exporters on the market requirements. We identify opportunities for them to meet buyers on the other side. And whatever Mama Mata and Baba Mata are doing is very, very important. And they are the kind of stakeholders that we normally work with to facilitate our exporters to access the markets. So we organize exhibitions, buyer-seller meetings, and trade missions. We are based at Anniversary Towers, first floor. So you can walk in anytime. We have a business counseling center. if you need information on, even if you're not exporting and you want to start exporting, we have a team that does business coaching, and then we work with you through the entire journey until you start exporting. So thank you very much, and we look forward to this collaboration with Mama Mata.
Thank you so much. Sorry, I ambushed you, but as we said, if we don't bring the partners on board, then all our attempts will be futile in achieving what we want. And now, like take it to Q&A or any questions that either of us can answer, or our team in Houston can also answer. Anyone that we can start with? Questions, comments, suggestions? We are open. Okay.
Yes, good morning. Now, there's the issue of trainings that you mentioned. We do, as Keproba, we do have various partners, some who are here, stakeholders who are exporters that we have trained in terms of introduction to exports and all that. But this is quite important. We really appreciate this app, but we would like to know what the plans are for these trainings, because we do have a huge database of exporters with potential to export to that particular market or that particular region in general. So maybe you can expound more on that, what it entails.
Just highlight what with regards to the training, we have trainings from the different organizations, including yourselves. As I said, if it's not empowering everyone, it's not helping anyone. Our idea is not to lock it to training from the US. It is trainings from KEBS. Bwana and team will provide us with their trainings. It is trainings from your end. It is training from any party that is involved, or any regulatory authority that is involved with the whole export process. Mabli, I think, as a chairman, you can expound a bit more on that.
Derito, I think you explained it perfectly, that the training for the Kenyan side is going to come from the regulatory bodies. The additional training for logistics is going to come from logistics professionals. I myself have been in logistics for the last 15, almost 16, 17 years. So we have a lot of experience on those aspects. Then the material that will be gleaned from the Code of Federal Regulations. There is a Code of Federal Regulations book for almost each and every single item in the United States. So in the case of logistics and customs brokerage, that's Code of Federal Regulations 19. When it comes to things like the Foreign Supplier Verification Program, that is from the Code of Federal Regulations 21. Regarding meat and animal products, that is Code of Federal Regulations 7 and 9. So what we are doing is we are capturing all those requirements, those laws, and we are capturing them in the fields that you have to enter in your questionnaire or in your program. And by doing so, you will be in compliance entirely by default. You might not even know why you're being asked to, let's say, provide the person in charge for a food facility, but by providing that, you will have met 2 or 3 regulations. So it's about simplifying the process without overwhelming people with the reasons for that process or the reasons for that requirement. Somebody just gets into compliance, and by that way, we are actually now building capacity from the ground up, almost subconsciously. So the training I'm glad to hear that Keproba has training materials, because our intention is not to reinvent the wheel. We have a saying here in Texas that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so we are going to make sure that we will partner even with Keproba and anybody else who has material that has been proved to work. And we will find a way of integrating or onboarding that into our system so that we can be able to achieve our common performance objectives or indicators. Derito, over to you.
Mabli, I want to say something. Yes. I think, I'm not sure, but I can make a follow-up to that question.
Yes, please do.
It's clear that the trainings will be inbuilt, but there are cases where, you know, there are some SMEs that cannot access, you know, there's that, they can't access the technology. So I thought probably Keproba is finding out whether we'd be having organized trainings. That is maybe mapping out areas where you would imagine somebody will not access the technology, they may not access the program. I thought he was trying to find out if that will also be part of the trainings. Of course, a lot of the trainings, as he has explained, the videos and all this will be in the system. So if, for example, you want to know about how to go about meat and meat products in Kenya, in the US, what are the requirements, who are the regulators, that you'll find in the system, and there'll be videos. But what about that person who cannot access the system? I think that probably Keproba is finding out whether we'll be having some organized trainings, physical, because I know you are onboarding some financiers. That's where money will be required. If you were to go to a certain remote part of Kenya, because there are some products that you have identified from there that of potential export to the US, these guys cannot access the action plan, the MAN-PPO, though the last P looks like R. I hear people say MAN-PPO. So we may need to have some of those programs of physical mapped out training for specific individuals who cannot access the system. So I think you need to have that in the plan. As I indicated, I'm good with ideas.
Actually, great with ideas. There's a follow-up to it, and then I can try and expound slightly on that bit.
Thank you, Tobias. That's actually what I was asking, because if I got inquiries about an app that I'm not really privy in explaining, then it wouldn't make much sense. So it would be important to have that organized training, even for us within the value chain, so that we can be able to, when we get inquiries, we can be able to do the same.
Our bigger picture, or the bigger picture, is to ensure that in each, like I said, we have over 46,000 mapped out locations that are geo-referenced. So our idea is to have this as your local source of information, your local point of contact, and also your source of ongoing and onboarding trainings, such that, yes, once we've kicked off with the initial phase, where we take the product to market, so to speak, we'll now start engaging at each and every one of these points. If it's a Kijiji, we have a Baraza. I know if we go to Northeastern, we might not necessarily have all the access to everything else, but we'll have a chief's Baraza there. They can call a Baraza, have people sit there. We can go to other areas where we can ask Nation, please bring together Chama ya Mama, or Chama ya Vijana, or go to the coast, where we appreciate each and every community and culture in the way they're structured, and use those platforms that they already have to disseminate the information and try and onboard people. As you said, I think it was Ken? Yes, so I believe not everyone has the capacity that we have, but everyone has something they can bring on board. Like you said, if I find a new product, doesn't necessarily that mean that that person has the knowledge, has the capacity to be able to take it there, unless we take the information to them. Our biggest issue is information, so that is what we are trying to do. So yes, we will have trainings on the ground where we will have the partners, the different partners to actually support us in the same.
My name is Kentis Tikolo, and I just want to appreciate this forum and to ask a few questions. First of all, I am a bit concerned that we don't have one portal from where you can get all the information you need to getting your products out. That you have to look at KEPROBA, you have to look at KEBS, you have to look at MAN-PPO, and so on. Is it possible to get one portal where you would know that, one, you need your GAP certification, and this is how to get it, you need your organic certification. When we talk about the from farm to fork, from farm to fork, if we start with MAN-PPO, we have lost it because we start with the certifications. And the director of KEBS was very right about going to KEBS. What are we going to KEBS to get? What are we going to get to KEFIS to get, and so on? We need a portal that has all this information. In fact, if possible, a visual, to simplify things. I believe that the more complex a process, the more hidden and therefore the more funny things that are going on. So we block each other from those complexities that are so unnecessary, and yet the market is so big. So we are blocking ourselves from the market by complicating things. So my first request is, can things simple so that that person at the polling station can access that information without having to wait for you or let them call you. That's one. The second one, I've just joined that up, and I'm concerned some of the information that is being asked for is so personal. You want to know where I voted, you have my ID, the extent to which data protection has been taken off when it up. But apart from that, while I voted in South Sea, my farm is in Migori. So that information could be misleading insofar as you're concerned, because you may be picking information about where I voted, but that is not necessarily where I am operating for in terms of my business. And then finally, one of the greatest discouragers for people to get these things going are the costs involved. I would have loved to see how this forum is helping us to see how costs can be managed so that farmers who are actually producing these things benefit from them. I submit.
Thank you. Let me start from the top. Allow me to say you have simplified what basically, with the first question, you've simplified what MAN-PPO is about. The reason why we have KEBS on board, the reason why we have KEPROBA, the reason why I have any authority, whether it's AFA and all this, is to have them all within the app. Exactly the question that you've asked. You've simply, in a nutshell, you become our ambassador by stating everything that the app does. The app is supposed to bring together KEBS for you. That's the reason why Ololo and team were here. Keproba, same thing, so that when I get into the system, if I have groundnuts and I want to export them to the US, right from the first stage, so if it's authorizations from KEBS, look them up within the app. If there's training that's required, I'll get the training within the app. Same thing with Keproba, same thing with any regulatory authority that applies. If it's something agricultural, I believe AFA plays a part in it. If it's something that KFIS plays a part in it, everything is within the app. Like I said, you've simply become our pseudo-ambassador moving forward. Because you've put everything together that we have been trying to achieve. So we are not saying that MAN-PPO is another body that is separate. No. MAN-PPO is a platform that brings together all these stakeholders, all these partners, all these individuals to make it a wholesome process. So that the moment you get in, to the moment you leave, you've understood, you're able to meet, and if there's training in terms of capacity, you've gotten it within the app. I don't know whether I've answered the first one. Sorry? Now, we have evaluators that will come on board. One of our partners will be an evaluator that will be able to institute that. So like you said, we might not necessarily know, I've seen an issue of avocados that are not ripe being exported. We might not know what is the standard, but our evaluators then bring together this capacity or this resource. Secondly, in terms of data protection and our location base, I'll let our chairman advise on that. But let me just keep to the last one and then I can take it back to Baba Mata. So for our costs, our idea is simplify the process. Like I said, for anyone that is in Busia, they don't have to come all the way to KEBS. They don't have to come all the way to Keproba. They don't have to come all this way. That is where we are managing the costs. If we can have all this information, if we can have the certifications or the verifications that are needed within the system, then it makes it very easy to manage the process of exportation. We were very surprised, I think, when we found out that KRA charges as little as 250 to export, I don't know, to whatever tonnage. We didn't know that. Yet there's a lot of people that actually bring their products to Wakulima Market and all these different places. So it's that wealth of information that we want to dispense to each and every person at one point in their best convenience. That is basically what MAN-PPO does for you. Bwana Chairman, you can pick up the data protection and location base.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Tikolo, for your contribution. One of the things I'd really like to clarify that's very important that has arisen is on the issue of where you voted. Now, the reason for using the precinct was we were trying to find an administrative unit that is lower than the county assembly. We have at the county assembly, we have the wards, and then under the wards, the only lower unit would probably be Nyumba Kumi. But in between the Nyumba Kumi and the ward is the precinct. And the precinct in this case, for lack of a better way of identifying it, we use the polling station, because that's the lowest level of mobilization that currently exists in the country right now. If we are able to mobilize door to door, that is exactly where we would do. So the purpose of wanting to know, or we don't want to know where you voted. It's possible you didn't vote or you have no intention of voting. What we want to know is, if you were to vote, which area would you use? We are using that pretty much to tie in our geo-referencing strategy. Because because one of the requirements of, let's say, for instance, signing up with the FDA's food facility registration is that you need to have a dance number. Now, that dance number is very easy when your address is Nyayo House or Kenya Commercial Bank, Kenyatta Avenue, or etc. But if you're talking about a place in the village, in a place called Wangige, the lowest identification you can use is LR90, Wangige, Lower Kabete, Kabete, etc. So that is the purpose for the use of the precinct or the polling station. Now, for data, the data laws, our attorney, Ms. Wangoko, I don't know how far she has gone in as far as aligning the whole structure we have with the existing data laws that were, I think, signed a couple of years back. But we are also governed by very serious data laws here in the US. And so I think we are going to try, and with the strictest ones being the ones in California. And because we do ship to California, we are just going to take the most difficult, most strict law and then apply it to that one, so that we do not, we will be in compliance by default. The main thing we are looking for is compliance, and if you can be compliant by default, that's what we are going to do. But as to the nitty-gritty, as to which areas have been addressed in the context of existing data laws, I cannot be able to give you an honest answer right now. I'd have to talk to Madam Wangoko, and but I would want you to have the assurance that our asking for where you voted has nothing to do with politics. It has more to do with trying to figure out where you're placed within the 46,000 geolocations that we are going to use to identify our vendors, our suppliers, our partners. Because when we now come to the diaspora, our mobilization is going to be based on that polling station. If I'm to serve, if I'm to help people in Kenya, I'm probably going to start with Kiahuria, which is the polling station which I would probably vote if I was there. But it has nothing to do with politics and more to do with just the way of mobilization. Ms. Tikolo, I sincerely hope I have answered your questions. If I have not, I would want to engage with you later and put to rest your concerns, and also get a bit of information from you on, like you mentioned, the gap certification and etc., so that you can come on board and tell us this is how you want this to be. This is a people-driven initiative. That's what Mwepesi is about. That's what Agile Project Management is all about. We have already taken into concert whatever you have said, and in some way, shape, or form, it's going to show up. But again, I hope I have answered you. If I have not, I'm sorry. I'll engage you later, and then probably you will be satisfied. Thank you.
As Mabli mentioned, we have our legal head here. Madam Wangoko, maybe she can add in a bit more from now the expert side.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to clarify and assure and reassure all in attendance today, and thank you for the question, Madam Tikolo, that our app is actually regulated by the Data Protection Act. We have a data protection policy. It was actually one of the requirements that was required prior to uploading our app on the Google Play and the iOS. So what the data protection policy actually says is that we are only collecting data for a specific reason, and we shall not use that data without anybody's, the giver's consent. It also says that we will train our staff as to where we are collecting the data, and we're also guaranteeing confidentiality. So the data protection policy is also governed to changes. As you're aware, the data protection law is actually very new. Let me say new because we only have the first data protection commissioner in office. So we intend on actually reviewing this data protection policy every 2 years. We actually have it written down, can be shared on request. Thank you.
Thank you.
A query?
Okay. Hello. How is everybody? My name is Julia Ombasi. I have one question. You said, I think it's Dr. Rotich who alluded to the fact that Mama Mata import one product per county. My question is, can one county export 2 products, but another one is, can counties export the same product?
Okay, let me take that.
I don't know whether I can ask Mabli to take it up.
Yes, yeah. The list of items that have already been given, the fruit juices, the vegetables, the dried vegetables, the thyme, the essential oils like thyme and lavender, and the meat, which is part of the pilot project. Those ones can pretty much come from anywhere, and they can come from multiple places. But in the big picture, in the long term, we want to also promote specific products that come from specific counties, and they don't necessarily need to be food. For instance, soapstone from Kisii and bananas from Kisii, from Nyamira, would be a good mix to come from Kisii Nyanza. But there are other items that can be in abundance. This is entirely promotional. It would be very good if we can have 47 different items from 47 different counties. But at the end of the day, it's just going to be what is available. So there is no limitation. But if there is one, I'd want to tell you it's going to be fast come, fast served, because we are going to be very big on merit. So Mama Mata over here can tell you what she wants. She wants those 7 items, which we have been listed. But there are going to be probably, there are around 3,500 items under AGOA that can be shipped from Kenya, 3,500. And Mama Mata can only onboard several. So the key thing is to make sure that we have qualified and certified and trained the shipper or the exporter to where now they can actually be able to reach out even directly to other buyers in the US or in North America or even in Europe using the certification we have given them. But for us, for now, the pilot project is the one that's limited to those 7 items, and they are not limited to any particular place. And it doesn't mean like if, let's say, we are talking about dried vegetables, that we get one vendor, because I would assume there's 8 or 9, 10 different vegetables. So that is just a guidance, a plan. And for you being here already at this meeting, you have nothing to worry, because just write down to say which product you want. Give it to Ms. Kathy Mwavi. She's Mama Mata's procurement manager over there. You talk with her. You tell her that is what you want to ship. And then you can get that conversation started immediately, even before we go through all this stuff. I hope I have answered your question.
Finally. Okay.
Thank you very much for this wonderful session. I want to thank Elizabeth for inviting Select Fresh Produce Kenya Limited. Thank you for inviting us. My name is Eunice Mutua. I represent Agri-SMEs in the Presidential Roundtable in 2018. Since 2018. After that, we formed an association called the Africa Sustainable Agribusiness Agroprocessing Network. So we have a network of people who are in these, value chains that we are discussing, and we wouldn't mind an opportunity to partner with this project. Personally, and together with my colleague Eric, we also work for Select Fresh Produce Kenya Limited. We're working in Elgeyo Marakwet. I come from Machakos. I vote in Nairobi. And I'm working in Elgeyo Marakwet. On a light note, I think I agree with her comment that please choose another way of georeferencing. Maybe you can just say where you're operating or something. Yeah. That can be very sensitive, you know, where you voted. We know Kenyans, and we really, really support this particular program, Mr. Mabli and Mama Mata. We congratulate you. We are one of those people that support Kenya, and Kenyans doing great things. Having been in the agriculture sector since 2009, we understand the challenges around implementing export programs, and especially AGOA. We've been trying to get our products out there for very many years, so we applaud what you're doing. We truly do. And so, yeah, of course, personally, I have very many products that I want to ship to the US market. I'm working with sweet potato, and I know California is very big on, you know, sweet potato. My only concern, to be honest with you, is the US market produces some of the products that we're shipping. It would be very nice to understand the cost implications in terms of the back end of the market, so that, you know, we are being competitive. Understand things like you mentioned earlier, the herbs, the oils. We are very competitive in those ones, but they are like the fruits, you know, truly speaking, the logistic costs will take up everything. So anyway, we're happy to sit down with you guys and just to see the back end of costs, just to make sure that when we're engaging our exporters in these matters, honestly, we are honestly giving them products that are going to make money sense and market sense for them. Yeah, so looking forward to partnering with you, and looking forward to seeing how we can get our members on board. And we're working with 2,000 to 100,000 farmers. We also have like a MAN-PPO in our association. It's called Twende Sokoni Africa. We're working with Europe, and we're interested in the US market as well. So we wouldn't mind our systems talking to each other. I believe we've come to the age of collaborations. So we understand the hard work that goes into getting a lot of the right people in the app. So consider partnering with us. Thank you.
Thank you much, Eunice, for those comments and suggestions. Definitely taken into account. We actually have our technical director here, Simon Katumo, so I can see him jotting down the notes. So definitely, you'll see a couple of changes shortly. Mark.
Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Mumelo. I also want to really appreciate the effort that you are putting up to really give us the market, because most farmers in this country have a challenge and a nightmare because of marketing. So if we can get this US market open to everybody, individually or in a group, that would be fantastic. But what my question is about agriculture products. Some of them mature, others. So when we are talking of a container waiting to be put in several items, I don't know the logistics, Baba, Mata, whether you really know that if I have produced something in Western, do I have to keep storing my products until the one in Kampani is ready so that they are put together? Or what? How do we make the farmer not to lose in storage? Because sometimes we have these things in the store, but the market is not open until a certain time. And we keep on wondering now, was it again who has told us they produce a lot of soybeans, produce a lot of this, and they don't come to buy them eventually, or what do we do? How do we give the hope that these things will be picked regularly and the transportation is there anytime you are ready, your product is taken, the one the meat when it's ready, the meat product is already taken, not necessarily waiting for the container to be full, but we now export them.
Mabli?
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much for your question. Before I answer yours, I'd like to, before I answer Dr. Mumelo, I'd like to answer the Dr. Eunice Mutua. She did say she was curious about the cost implications, and we will look for a way to discuss that with her, because it's a big issue. Which leads me to Dr. Mumelo's question about transportation and logistics. I can be able to do it is through air freight. The option of shipping some of these items by container is definitely not an option. And that is why we have started with dried vegetables and dried fruits and juices, so that as we work out the kinks throughout the system, we work out where the challenges are with customs, where the challenges are with the FDA, the challenges we have with the US Department of Agriculture. Once that supply chain has been smoothed, the vision is for you to be able to take that product and send it by DHL directly to the customer where it is going. We have a situation, we've had situations here where we bought items from Amazon, and they don't tell you where the stuff is coming from. But then once the stuff comes, that's usually clothes and materials like that. You find some of them have come from China, others have come from Turkey, others have come from Pakistan. And our intention is to just have a supply chain whereby you can, Dr. Mumelo, can be able to send directly to somebody using air, because we have worked out everything from the labeling to the testing to the certification to everything, such that nobody's gonna bother with your items. And once we take care of that issue of also having your staff getting spoiled, will also go away, because you will produce based on the demand that you're having from your customer. If you're buying from Mama Mata, she can tell you, wait, we need 8 kilos of matoke, and the only way you can be able to bring that is by a refrigerated container, or you can be able to do XYZ, but we have work out the kinks first before we can start saying, okay, we are now confident, we are now telling you, please even grow this in larger quantities, because we also don't want to take upon ourselves a responsibility which we cannot be able to meet. So as at right now, what I can say is that we are working on the marketing bit. If it is the essential oils, if you are not going to some of the big manufacturers of oils or the items, the costs are negligible compared to what the market is. Like now, a bottle of lavender, a small bottle of lavender is how much? It's $24. That's 2,000. Okay, maybe 3,000. Maybe that's around 3,000. If you are able to just produce lavender in the usual way, and you have that machine that costs $3,000 to extract it, I think the $24 is something we can be able to match or even beat that $24 price easily. Also, currently, most of those products are for niche markets. So if you want essential oils, you're most likely going to get it in Whole Foods or in the high-end aisles of other supermarkets. But if we now start having our own Kenyan branded essential oils, it's very easy to aim directly for the Kenyan consumer who's over here, who will be more than happy to use eucalyptus or neem or whatever that's coming from home. I hope that has answered your question, although I don't feel I have completely addressed everything. If I get started talking, I won't stop, because I'll think of more things as I go along the way. So what I'd like to say is I hope I have answered. If I haven't, get with Derito. He'll note down your questions and your email, and then we'll be able to address it directly, hopefully. Thank you.
Thank you, Mable. Anyone else?
Good morning, all. I just want to congratulate Mama Mata on this app, because when I listen to what it's going to help us do, we are going to learn and be able to export. Some of us have been living and sitting with the ideas, and yet we have been encouraged this morning that as long as you can conceive it, you can have it. So thank you very much, because I am fully convinced that it's going to make work easier. Like my neighbor here said, if we can be able to get all of this information on one platform, it can be very, very easy for us. So thank you very much. I'm looking to exporting to the US cereals and meats. So we'll get talking. Thank you.
Thank you, Karibu Sana. There's a gentleman at the back.
Hello. Top. Hi, thank you, everybody. Maybe I need to come closer. That's okay. Okay, my name is... Get your mic. My name is Tony. I'm from Singishu. We're looking to export gooseberries, especially dried gooseberries. And I'm looking from a marketing point of view on the shelves. I'm just wondering, when you take, when we are sending products, are we using our brands, or are you, like Mama Mata, are you going to repackage it into your brands? Then some guidance in terms of pricing for us to get fair pricings. How, I mean, like, are you able to guide us on that? Like what we should be able, what can price our produce at, and the SKUs that you guys prefer them in?
Mabli, Mama Mata, you're on mute.
I think I muted myself. So when it comes to products, we can you can export your products using your brand name, but we can also come to an agreement where you pack some of the stuff for us. But that will just yeah, I mean, you can do private labels for us, but that's something we can discuss. I hope I have answered your question.
I think this mic is failing us. Coincidence, I think that's my high school schoolmate. About 25 years ago. Changes. Small world. I don't know whether there are any other questions. And then to add on, I want to give an example of what you've asked in terms of wanting to import meat and cereals. So the idea is this: once you come on to, you download the app, the MAN-PPO app, you register your information, you have two options. So there's the business proposal submission bit, which is what the genesis of this whole program was, empowering individuals from the diaspora community to give back, to support, to reinvest, depending on what someone would like to do from that end. And then secondly is the African Diaspora Market, which is what is all about. And for example, if you want to export meat, when you choose the category for meat, it takes you through the regulations that are very specific to meat. If you choose cereals, it will take you through the category that the regulations or the authorities or the trainings that are very relevant to it. So it's not a wholesome thing where I've gone in with my njahe and I end up getting information about meat that doesn't really apply to me. Same thing with gooseberries, same thing with vegetables, whichever product it is, we're trying to, like you said, it's about simplifying the process. Understanding the value chain from end to end without any diversions that then will be cost effective, not time effective and all that. I don't know whether that has built it better? Okay. Anyone else? Daktari.
Thank you again. Speak is about the app. I noticed the iOS version maybe it's not verified yet, so maybe that can be looked into. Yeah.
Definitely. We actually, the reason why we have both as listed, as available, is because iOS takes longer to have the app approved. I think 7 to 14 days, while Android takes between 24 and 48 hours. So, but definitely it's actually already listed, awaiting approval. So yes, we will communicate. The good thing about it is we have all your contacts, so we'll be able to give you updates on where we stand, communicate back and let us know, oh, we feel like we can add this, we can remove this, this is not applicable, this is applicable, and anything that is relevant to it. Any other question? Suggestions?
So there's some
Go ahead.
The requirements to get our goods, they say, so hard-boiled sweet.
Mama Mata, I believe the question is, what are some of the requirements for?
I think, let me take that again. For Sweets Limited is some of the requirements to get their goods to the US. So this is hard-boiled sweets.
Mark, ask that question again, please.
What are some of the requirements to get the goods from Kenya Sweets Limited to the US? And it's specifically hard-boiled sweets.
Okay.
By sweets, I mean candy.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, part of the most of the items with Kenya Sweets are actually not complex, and I hope now that they have asked that question, because we have purchased we do sell their products. Well, the problem sometimes is usually something very small like color, food color. Food color is a disastrous thing to a lot of importers. Like there's a specific food color. It's not that it's forbidden. It's actually, once you go into the Code of Federal Regulations 21, it's permitted. But it needs to be captured in a particular way in the label. And failure to capture it is usually what brings problems. So in the case of Kenya Sweets, based on the products I know about, which is Tropical, Patco, and Mints, and Mints, Tropical is the one that has a color, I think it's color D, and you're supposed to note within the label that it has that color. The FSVP, the main purpose of the FSVP is not even so much as to stop things from coming. It's so much that you show as a manufacturer that you're conscious of the allergens that can be a risk to public safety. That's why we have commodities marked that this item was manufactured in a facility together with peanuts. Although it's very far from each other, the people who have serious peanut allergies are not put at risk. So to answer the question, all Kenya Sweets needs to do for their products, especially the tropicals, is just to note the color on the label. That it's brilliant, it's brilliant blue. Yeah, it's brilliant blue, and it's not forbidden. That's the key thing. That's a funny thing about why we've been losing and wasting money at terminals. It's not even a forbidden color. It's just that it needs to be indicated that it's there. And that's why we feel like some of these solutions are actually very simple. We are not asking you to change your ingredients, because that ingredient might be the very secret sauce that makes that product very popular. Same thing we had with Royco. Royco was which one? What color? Red. You know, so a lot of these things, it's mainly just write that it is there. We've had a situation where I'm at the airport and our staff is stuck because of something like that color. And somebody brings in live fish in a tank from Tanzania. And you're wondering, this one, how can this one enter so easily and this one is not? Then you realize they have gone through the checklist and they have successfully knocked out all the items in the checklist. And that's what the MAN-PPO app is intending to do. We provide all the checklist, all the boxes in the checklist, and then you tick them off so that wakikata ingie, if they refuse it to enter at that time, then we know that it is another issue, but it is not the issue of compliance. I hope I have answered that question.
Yeah, she's quite satisfied. I think another follow-up question from Anna from KSL is, how do we qualify for the AGOA duty exemption?
You're already qualified.
We have another question from Sheila, Taste Limited. I hope I got that right. She'd like to thank you and congratulating you for helping ease accessing the international market. Maybe a question she has is that they the FDA certification, and now they're having challenges renewing that certificate. So they'd really like some help with that, and maybe a follow-up discussion on how they can do that.
Yes, we do register and we help register people for the food facility registration. I can tell you for a fact, I suspect the reason you're having problems is because of that field that asks you for the facility identifier number, which is usually provided by Duns and Bradstreet. If you need, you can get our email from one of our team over there and just send us an email specifically stating where the challenge is, and we'll show you how to do it. It's a very small, easily done fix, but it's that has to do with Duns, and which is why we are also seeing our geo-referencing tool as useful. Because if we can have it accepted as a standard for accepting locations, physical locations in Kenya, that would make, or in Africa, because we want to think about the whole continent. If we can have that accepted, then it would be possible to now get Duns to accept that, and then it becomes easier.
I don't know whether that's
I've answered the question.
Go on.
No, I'm done.
Oh. Okay. I don't know whether that has answered your question. Okay. I think this is partly exactly what we're talking about. The information will not need a call to Mably, an email to Mably. It will actually be within the MAN-PPO app. So that is exactly what you will be able to get. If it's Kenya Sweets, whatever sweet you need, you go to the category that is relevant to it, get all the necessary information, relevant authorities guide you on what you need, and it all builds up to being able to empower you to be able to export as you need to. I think these mics are cutting us off, but I don't know. Any other questions? Okay, then. Comment that if there's anyone that's watching live stream, then maybe you can share your queries or any comments via email. Kevin? Can we do a line on the YouTube feed that says our email address? That says our email address. Yes, kindly. So that anyone can send in their comments. I know there's some of us that are not here. I know there are people that are watching me. This is my 15 minutes of fame. So anyone that has comments, anyone that has any suggestions, we'd love to hear your feedback from wherever you are. I guess we are good. I don't know whether there's anyone that would like to get any more information from us. Like I said, maybe we can introduce the team very quickly. We have Wangoko Njoroge in charge of legal. We have Simon Katumo in charge of the technical. Is basically the person behind how the app is structured and everything. We have Mark Mwaka. He's in charge of our communications department and partly with me in the marketing and execution of the whole project. We have our chairman and chair lady, Baba and Mama Mata. I think I love that name. I'll use it more often. And we have others that are not in the room. We have our developers. We have part of our legal team. We have a lot of people that are working together to bring this to life. And you are our core support team. We'd love to take this to the next level. Now that I know I have a contact in Mulembe Nation, because I know someone that supplies to you or is a member. It feels good. It feels good to have these networks. Same thing Keproba. I know where to walk in. Nikiwa town takuja kunywa chai. Everywhere else or any partner, we have our logistics partner, Harun Exporters. I don't know whether there's anyone else I've not recognized before I go to one very key person. Okay, then I think one of the people that we need to give recognition to is Madam Elizabeth Okunda. She has to say something. The clubs already tell it. She's one very key person, one of the most dynamic people I've ever met because of the fact that she got the information, she disseminated it very fast, and is part of the reason why some or most of you are actually here. Elizabeth, say something, tafadhali.
Good morning, everyone. I didn't expect to say anything, but I'm happy that we are here. I call it's God's plan, and we are here today. And I'm really, really happy for what you're doing, Mabli Penny. Congratulations, and the team. To help us and to help our people and the SMEs to grow. We keep saying we need to grow and to support, and we can't keep waiting for others. I don't know who others are. It all starts with us. In our small way, wherever we are, for me, I like what they are doing. Let's encourage each other. Let's feel encouraged. Let's work together and see how we can support each and everybody grow. And I believe with that we'll go so far. And looking for better days ahead. I have a passion for SMEs and to see people grow. So for me, this is my bread and butter. So I'm happy, and I wish all of us all the best. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Without further ado, Mabli, Chairman and Chair.
Number one, I think I'd like to address something about, this is on a very light note. In around 1998, we used to have a house help, a house assistant from Tanzania, and she had problems saying the name Matavia. So she's the one who started calling me Baba Mata. And so it's an old name. I have no problem and I have no struggle with it. I just didn't expect it in this kind of a setting. I'd like to thank each and everyone who is here. I'd like to make a special note of somebody called Samuel Njau. Please, wherever Samuel Njau is, can he please stand up? Samuel Njau. Has he stood up, Nderito? Okay,
yes,
good.
yes, yes.
Njao is my brother in Christ. He's from my village. We have done a lot of business together, and he has been a very faithful friend. And he's the one who actually persuaded me to get on the plane and go to Washington, D.C. and talk to Tobias Ololo. I would not have gone if Njao had not done that. So I'd like to give him the appropriate honor and recognition for the contribution he has made for us to get to this kind of an engagement, and to ask that the Lord continue to bless him and his family, and to meet him at his point of need, and to increase him and to prosper him. In Jesus' name, I have said that. Thank you.
Mama Mata, you're on mute.
I am so delighted because of this forum, and to see that the dreams that we carry within us.
Sorry, we can't hear you.
I'm saying I'm so delighted because of this forum, and to see that the dreams that we carry within us, dreams about helping our people, I mean, can become possible. Because if you can see it, you can achieve it. I am so thankful for everybody that attended today, and wish everybody God's blessings. And as we continue, I expect to receive emails from you regarding questions about if Mama Mata is going to buy your items, or whatever the dialogue is going to be about. So I am so thankful. I want to thank Elizabeth, especially for the good job you have done. May God richly bless you. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Derito?
Yes. Thank you. As with everything, we start off with a word of prayer, and we finish in the same way. I would kindly request you, sir, to close this session for us. Oh, one last thing. With regards to communication, we have put our business cards or our email address. It's within the gift packs that you'll pick as you head out. Just something small to also remember us by, and also contact us through. Thank you.
I'll request we just stand and we close with a word of prayer. Lord, we give thanks for these undertakings that have been in this place, and thank you for all the information each and every one of us has gone with today, and we pray that you are going to cause there come a knitting together of hearts and persons in this place. And even persons who are not here, we pray for them that while they come in, they will find a friendly, warm heart from each and every person in this kind of confederation. We pray, God, as we leave this place, may you go with us and be with us, bless everybody's endeavors and business, and we pray that you will cause us to help grow Kenya as we grow each person. In Jesus' name we pray.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I guess with that, I can allow us to, as I said, we still have more to eat, so to speak. The hotel has been very gracious to ensure that we are well covered. Please, we still have this room for the rest of the morning. I know I haven't had breakfast, so I'm going to go there. Okay, thank you, everyone.